Alright, what's up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. It is September and it's ranking season now. We're going to be doing a lot of ranking videos this month, so stay tuned for those. Today, we're going to be ranking every point guard in the NBA. When I say every point guard, I mean every point guard in the NBA. You'll see we're going to rank all of them on different tiers and stuff like that here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Like my Twitters and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. Alright, so here we go. We have every point guard in the NBA right now. I went through every team's roster and picked out their point guards. All the point guards on the roster, the starters, the backups, all that stuff, and got them right here. I don't know how many exactly are here, but there's a lot, so we're gonna have a lot of people to talk about. And then here are the different tiers. So we have superstar tier. Obviously, these are the elite of the elite. All-star tier, guys that aren't elite, but very, very good guys. Then we have starter level, guys that are just really good point guards in the league, not all-star type, but just really good. Then we have the backups, backup point guard, which is like, they're solid. They're decent point guards. They're not horrible at all. They're decent. Bench guys that are like probably at the end of the bench, or backups, or just like all right. They're here, but they're not really super special. And then G League, this is the bottom tier with guys that probably aren't really gonna be regular players in the rotation. Probably just G League end of bench type of dudes. And we're not making them. I'm not ranking them based on what their role is going to be next season. Like some of these guys are going to be starters, even though I'm going to put them in the backup tier or whatever. It's just based on their play. You understand? So it's not really like, me basing, okay, this guy's a starter, so I got to put him in the starter tier. Or this guy is going to be the sixth man, so I got to put him in backup tier. Most of the time it'll be like that, but not all the time. I just want to make that clear. These are just different, like, rankings, not what they actually are. Well, not what their actual role is going to be. So, yeah, all right, let's get it started. Start with Jose Alvarado. We're gonna start with the A's. Jose Alvarado. Um, I'm gonna put him in backup tier. I think he's very, very solid. Defensively, he's got the intensity, all that stuff. He can knock down the shot. But yeah, I think he's just a really decent backup. So we'll put him in backup tier. LaMelo. LaMelo's interesting. He has had injuries over the last 2 years that have, fortunately, really affected him. Um, I still do want to put him in All-Star, though, just because of how good he is when he does play. If you look at his numbers when he does play, he's really good. And he makes the Hornets team 2 times better than what they actually are when he's not on the court. But the injuries I have to play a factor in. Do I put him in starter or do I put him in All-Star? I'll keep him in All-Star for now, and then we'll see how the tier works out, because I can always go back and change. So, but right now, we'll put him in All-Star tier. Lonzo. I think I have to put him in backup right now, just because we haven't seen him play in 2 years. He will be back this year, for it looks like, so that's gonna be fun to see him back. I'm excited to see him back, but yeah, I gotta put him in backup tier. The last time we did see him play, he was at his peak level, so I don't expect that coming back. I just expect him to come out the court and just play basketball, you know. Delano Bain. I'm gonna put him in bench, even though last year when he did get traded to Portland, he played very, very well. He played very, very well. But ultimately, I'm gonna put him in bench tier. Reese Beekman, put him in G League. He was a guy I think undrafted. The Warriors signed him on a 2-way contract or something like that. But yeah, we'll put him in G League tier. Anthony Black. Anthony Black, between backup and bench for me. He had a very solid rookie season. He has some good moments here and there. He got a lot more playing time than expected because of injuries. I do believe that he's going to be a very solid player. He's one of those guys that just does a whole lot besides scoring. Like, he doesn't need to score to really impact the game. He can do some of the other things. He can defend. He can pass. He can do a lot of different things. So that's why I'm excited for him. I'm gonna put him in. I think I'm gonna put him in. Do I want to put him in backup tier right now? I'm gonna put him in back. Yeah, I'll put him in backup tier for right now. I'll put him in backup tier, but we'll be surprised at the end of the year if he comes up to this level. But right now, gotta put him in backup. Jamar Bouye, G League level. Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is still very good. He's still solid. Of course, injuries have always just been a thing, and that's going to be a thing for Malcolm Brogdon. He's in Washington now, and I assume he's going to be the starting point guard in Washington because I don't know who's taking his spot for now, as long as he's on the team, which he probably is going to start the year on the team. Should I put him in starter? Yeah, I'll take Brogdon over these guys. So yeah, I'll put him starter. Jalen Brunson, our first superstar, one of the elite of the elite. When I do my top 10 point guards, which is going to come pretty soon, he will be very high on that list. I expect that. All right. Javon Carter. I'm going to put Javon Carter. It's between backup and bench for me. He's a good shooter, really good shooter, good defender, good 3-and-D guard. So I'll put him in backup because he's kind of in a similar light. I don't know, Jose Alvarado's better, but he's got a similar kind of mold where it's like he knows what he's going to do. He's going to come out, he's going to shoot threes, he's going to defend. Bub Carrington. I'm very excited to see Bub Carrington. I think I have to kind of put him in bench right now just because we haven't seen him play yet. But I am very excited for Bub Carrington. I like that he went to Washington. He's going to be behind Malcolm Brogdon, so he's going to learn from somebody. And I personally believe Bub Carrington is going to be really good in a couple years. I'm a fan, so I'll put him in bench. Same for Devin Carter. All the rookies are probably going to go into the backup or bench type tier. But Devin Carter, I'm also going to put in bench. I really like the move of getting Devin Carter. He's going to be injured to start the year, though. He had surgery this offseason, so we don't know how early he's going to play. But I am a fan. I think Devin Carter is going to be really, really solid as well for Sacramento. I like that they went out and got him. Mike Conley, he's going to go in starter role. He dang near might be an all-star mode. I mean, Mike Conley is really good, man. I mean, he's 35, 36 years old, and he's still doing his thing. Shot crazy from 3 last year. It's Mike Conley. He's just one of the most steady, reliable guys, point guards in the league. So Mike Conley's going to go in starter role. Zay Collier also has to go in bench role. He fell to the Jazz. Very interested to see how he fits over there in Utah, especially when they have Keontae George and they have a lot of guards already. And, Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton are still there for right now. But we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Cade. Cade's going on all-star tier. I really believe Cade probably can be an all-star conversation this year. Will he make it? I don't know because the Pistons are probably going to be bad again. But Cade Cunningham is really freaking good, man. He is. He's one of the more, I feel like, underrated dudes. Like, Cade is really nice. Steph, I don't think we have to talk about it really. Superstar just got a new extension too, $62 million extension. The highest paid man in the league. Well deserved. Dyson Daniels. He's between backup and bench for me. When he does play, he's solid. Good defender. Good at getting to the rim. He just can't really shoot the 3 ball right now. But he's showing some really nice things. He has dealt with a lot of injuries though, so throughout his career so far. He's in Atlanta now, where he has a big opportunity. I think he has a chance to finally show who he can really be next to Trae Young as a defensive guard. I'll put him in backup. I'll put him in backup tier for right now. I'll put him in backup tier because I like some of the things Dyson Daniels does, and I think he does have a good opportunity now in Atlanta. Rob Dillingham. I'm going to put Rob Dillingham in backup tier. Minnesota, that's a great spot for him. He gets to be under Mike Conley, which is one of the best guys one of the best vets point guards you could probably have. And yeah, Rob Dillingham, we all know about Rob Dillingham. He's a highlight maker. He's a bucket getter, and that's what Minnesota kind of needed. So yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's also good going backup tier. He's back in Dallas, which I like. Didn't have a good year last year with Brooklyn and LA, but hopefully he can go to Dallas and, be solid. And speaking of Dallas, Luka Doncic, also going to go in S tier. Might be an MVP winner this year. Jeff Doughton, he's going to go in G League tier. He did have a good summer league, though. He got brought back to the league. Chris Dunn, going to go in backup tier. Very, happy for Chris Dunn. How he started his career, not really good. Was in Minnesota, Chicago, just couldn't really find a way. And then now he's back in the league, and now he just got a nice contract from the Clippers. And now he's a pretty good backup point guard. So, very happy for Chris Dunn. De'Aaron, he's going to go in all-star tier. He dang near might be almost on the super. He's like in between. Because I feel like he's better than Cade and LaMelo. But of course, he's not on Luka or Steph's level. He's like in the. If there is an in-between tier, I would put him in the in-between. But I think if we have to go based on superstar all-star, he's an all-star. But De'Aaron Fox is really good. Darius Garland, I'm put him in starter tier. Did not have a good year last year. Has dealt with a lot of injuries last year. Just wasn't a good year last year, but I'm excited. I'm hopeful that he bounces back this year. Because Darius Garland is really good. He's an all-star type player when he's, really out there doing his thing. It's just tough now with Donovan Mitchell there. Still trying to figure out how to work that. And then, of course, again, he dealt with a lot of injuries last year. He couldn't really stay healthy. So, he's going to go in starter here. Keontae George. Realistically, I'm putting him in backup. But I am personally a big fan of Keontae George. I personally believe Keontae George is going to be really, really, really good. Like, I'm probably maybe a lot higher on Keontae George than a lot of people are. But I really believe Keontae George is going to be really good. I believe he can have a really good second year and maybe be up to this point by the end of this year. Like, I dang near want to put him in starter tier already. But I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit. Keep calm. Put him in backup. But I believe Keontae George is going to have a really good year this year. Shea, superstar. Not really much to say. Again, another potential MVP winner. Devontae Graham. Put Devontae Graham in bench tier. He just has, he's a shooting guard in a point guard's body. It's just unfortunate. Like, he's an amazing shooter, but after that, he can't really do much else. And the problem is he's 6 feet and 5, or maybe even 5'11". So it's just tough there. But he's back in the NBA with Portland, so that's cool. Tyrese Halliburton. This is an interesting one. I'm put Tyrese in All-Star. Not gonna put him in Superstar yet because I would take all 4 of these guys before Tyrese, and I think him and De'Aaron is probably a conversation, so I'll keep them in the same tier because I think those two are close. But Tyrese Halliburton is really good. He could be. Honestly, by the end of this year, he could be up here. But right now, I'm going to keep him at All-Star level. James Harden, I'm also going to put in All-Star level. He's obviously not a superstar anymore. He's not up here anymore. But he is still very, very good. And there's potential he could have a really good year this year with the Clippers in the regular season. Potentially. But we're going to keep James Harden All-Star. Scoot, I'm putting backup tier. It's just like, didn't have a good rookie year. But he's still only, 19, 20 years old. He's still super, super young. Maybe now with a full offseason after a year in the NBA, he can finally kind of get better and adapt. He did have a good end to last season. So there's some hope there. But got to give, point guard is a really tough position to transition into in the NBA. It's it's probably the hardest position to transition into in the NBA. So it's just got to give him some time. And I believe we'll see a lot better Scoot Henderson this season. Aaron Holiday, we'll put him in bench tier. Very solid, two-way guard. That's really much. Jrue Holiday, he's going to go in All-Star tier. Jrue Holiday might dang near be an All-Star tier, man. Jrue Holiday, I'm tempted to put Jrue Holiday in the All-Star tier, but I'll keep him in starter because, Jrue Holiday is really good. We all know Jrue Holiday is just really, really good. Bones Highland also has to go in bench tier, even though, he is a highlight maker. He's one of those guys that can score. When he's hot, he's on it. He's exciting. But when he's not, it's really, really hard for him to get on the court. we know this. When he's not, it's really hard for him to get on the court. So yeah, Reggie Jackson going back up tier. Very excited to see now he's in Philly, where he's gonna have opportunities. So that's really nice. Reggie Jackson is still decent. AJ Johnson, could have put him in the G League. I wasn't. If you go back and watch my draft grade video, I wasn't a big fan of AJ Johnson to the Bucks at 23. I think a lot of people weren't really big fans of AJ Johnson that high. Probably could have got him in the second round. So yeah, I expect he's not a product. He's probably not going to play this season. He's probably not going to play this year for the Bucks. He'll probably just be in the G League doing all that. Tre Jones going back up tier. I like Tre Jones. I think Tre Jones is very, very solid point guard. But now that he's a backup, that's even better. So yeah, I think I'll put him in backup tier. Corey Joseph, put him in bench tier. A couple years ago, he definitely would have been in backup because he was really good. Now he's a little bit older. He's in Orlando now. That's decent. He's probably not going to be a regular rotational player. Maybe at the start of the year he will be, but then eventually. But he's still decent. He can still come in and give you some decent minutes. Tyler Kolek, he's going to go on bench tier. Really love the pickup for the Knicks. He's a Knick type player. Just plays hard. Defensively, he's good. He can make great passes. Just a really, really good basketball player overall. Dame. Now, this is interesting. Does Dame go in all-star tier or superstar tier? I mean, obviously, Damian Lillard is a superstar. No question. But after last year, wasn't a great year for Dame. In Dame standards, obviously, anyone else, that would be a really good year. But for Dame standard, it wasn't that great of a year. Would I take? I'll take him over James Harden. I'll take him over Cade, LaMelo. Do I take him over De'Aaron and Tyrese? Career-wise, yes, but based off, last season, I will put Dame in. Dang. I'm putting him on a superstar. I'm putting him in superstar. I'm putting him in superstars here. Is Damian Lillard still? And we also have to kind of project a little bit, I guess, in a sense. So I don't know. I'm thinking about him versus Tyrese. I think Tyrese honestly probably had a better year last year than Damian. I don't know. Tyrese probably had a better year than Dame. If I'm thinking about it so much, they should be on the same tier, which means I should probably move Dame down to All-Star tier. Yeah, okay, I'll put Dame down in All-Star. Even though it looks weird to have him in All-Star tier, but I'm putting Dame in All-Star tier. Kyle Lowry, he's going to go in backup. He's still very solid at this age, but he just, getting older. Regular season, at least. In the playoffs, honestly, he jumps up a tier. In playoffs, he would be starter. But regular season, could have been backup. Trey Mann, I'm also going to put him in backup. He went to Charlotte and was really good. Very interested to see how his role is this year in Charlotte. If LaMelo is back and healthy, very interested to see. He probably will be the backup point guard. But I think Trey Mann's really got game, man. I really like that he went to Charlotte and finally has some opportunity to show himself. Tyrese Maxey's going to go in All-Star tier. Yeah, not really much to say about that. I mean, Tyrese Maxey just was really, really good last year. Miles McBride, he's going to go in backup tier. Came out last year with the Knicks, was pretty solid. He's really good defender, and three-point shooter is really, really nice. CJ, going to go in starter tier, still very solid. The Pelicans in general, the Pelicans roster, very, interested to see what happens there. If a trade isn't made for Brandon Ingram, then what does the starting lineup look like? Who comes off the bench? Is it CJ off the bench as a six-man? Is Herb Jones coming off the bench? Are they going to run small? Like, who knows what's going to happen over there? But CJ is still really good. TJ McConnell. Honestly, TJ McConnell might be in starter tier. This is what I was saying earlier about these guys might not actually be in this roles in the regular season, but what their role really is. And honestly, TJ McConnell, I'll put him up in this tier. Like, TJ McConnell had a really good year. Honestly, he might be the best backup point guard in the NBA right now. I mean, a lot of other teams, he probably would be a starter, but just because Tyrese Halliburton is there, and he's really good. But TJ McConnell is really good. Just got paid too the other day, so shout out to him for getting some money. And yeah, TJ McConnell was really, really good, man. He's really good. Jordan McLaughlin, put him in bench tier, but I think Jordan McLaughlin is really solid, though. When he does get his minutes, he does do his thing. And now he's in Sacramento as going to be the backup point guard, so I think he'd be solid there. Vasilij Micic. I'll put Micic in backup tier. I think he has some good moments with Charlotte when he got traded over there. Became a starting point guard at one point for them. I think he's really solid. I'll put him in backup tier. Davion Mitchell, could put him in bench tier. Just hasn't really worked out. He's a good defender. Can't really do much else. He's in Toronto now. Who knows how consistent and often he'll get minutes over there. But, I mean, yeah, I guess. John Morant. I'll put him in all-star tier for now. But he probably will be in superstar tier by the end of the season. I'll put money on he's superstar tier by the end of the year. I only put him in all-star because he did miss a lot of games, did miss a lot of time, and he's coming back next year. Off only playing 6 games last year, but he'll be in superstar tier by the time this season is over. No questions about it. Monte Morris, gonna put him in backup tier, very solid backup point guard. Monte Morris is in Phoenix now, which I think is really, really nice. Jamal Murray, he's gonna go in all-star tier. Right? Yeah, I'll put Jamal Murray in all-star tier. Probably might go down as the best player to never make an all-star team, even though he didn't have an amazing playoffs and Olympic run was not good, but I'm expecting Jamal Murray to come out and have a really solid year next year, so I'll put him in all-star tier as well. Now I'm looking at it. I kind of want to move Ja up. I'm moving Ja up to superstar tier. I don't care. I'm moving Ja up to superstar tier. I don't know, just looking at the names here, I'll move Ja Morant up there to superstar tier. Tristan Newton, put him in G League tier. Shout out to my UConn guy, Tristan Newton, very solid point guard. And yeah, we'll see what he does in the G League or if he gets some real run. Daisha Nix, he's gonna go. He's gonna be in the G League. Put him in G League tier. Campaign. Campaign. I'll put Campaign in backup tier. He's between backup and bench tier, but I'll put him in backup. He's with the Knicks now. Who knows how often he's gonna play, honestly. But he's still solid when he does play. Scottie Pippen Jr. Move him to bench tier. Actually, is like now looks like maybe a decent NBA player, which is really nice. You know, in Memphis, he showed off a little bit, had a really good Summer League, and now he actually might be the backup point guard for this team. So we'll see. Craig Porter Jr. moving to bench tier. As a Cavs fan personally, please play Craig Porter Jr. more. Please, he's a really solid point guard. Please. Kevin Porter Jr. Gotta put him in bench tier. He's back in the league, I guess, with the Clippers. I don't want to talk about him too much. Jason Preston. Go to the G League. He dominates in the G League, though. That's what I said. Jason Preston does go in the G League, and he does play really, really nice. I see some of the box scores, and I'm like, dang, all right, Jason. So that's cool. Payne Pritchard, going back up tier. The king of the half-court shot. Put him in there. IQ, he's going in starter tier. Very excited to see how he does this year in Toronto now. A full year in Toronto as the starting point guard. Just got paid a pretty good lump sum of money. So excited to see how he plays over there, you know. Ryan Rollins, G League. D Rose, he's going to go in backup tier purely out of respect. But D Rose, I forget he's in Memphis now, but hopefully he can just be decent next year. Hopefully, you know. Terry Rozier, he's going to go in starter tier. Now, you know, after last year in Miami, just couldn't really find it, and then he got hurt. Hopefully, he can come in and be the player that Miami thought they were getting next season. D'Lo, he's also going to go in starter tier. Say what you want about him, but he's still a very decent starting point guard. Is he going to spend his entire rest of the season with the Lakers? Probably. Marcus Sasser, he's going to go in bench tier, but I'm a big fan of Marcus Sasser. And I do think he's going to be very, very solid. I think he maybe could be up into the backup point guard tier by the end of the next season. Dennis Schroeder, he's going to go in starter tier. Still in Brooklyn. So I guess he will have some opportunity to be, you know, decent. Jamal Shedd, G League. KJ Simpson's also going to go in the G League, and so is DJ Stewart. Just put some of these guys in the G League. But, you know, Jamal Shedd, I do think maybe could find some run with Toronto. KJ Simpson plays for Charlotte, so who knows? LaMelo's not healthy. Maybe KJ Simpson plays. Nikola Topic, bench. He's not going to play probably this year, coming off an ACL injury. But OKC be able to get him, who probably was a top 5 player in the draft at number 12. He's just like, because OKC just can't do anything wrong, you know? Freddie, going to go in starter tier as well. Love me some Fred VanVleet. Gabe Vincent, he's going to go in backup tier, even though he had a pretty bad year last year. I think he's got to, I think it's only up from here, from Gabe Vincent. I think Ty Washington, going to go to the G League. Russ, going to go in backup tier. But, again, I was saying it a lot. I don't know. So I think Russell Westbrook is going to have a really good season in Denver. I really love the Russell Westbrook to Denver pickup. I made a video about it. I've talked about it. Russell Westbrook to Denver, I think, is going to work out. Kobe White, going to go in starter tier. Had a really, really good season last year. And let's see if he can keep it up. We'll see if he can keep it up. You know. Brandon Williams, G League, and Trae Young. He's going to go in all-star tier, even though I feel like a lot of people have been disrespecting Trae Young. And I think he could have a big year next year and prove that he is in that superstar tier. So here are the final rankings. I moved myself a little bit just so you can see the entire thing. So superstar, we have Brunson, Curry, Luka, Shea, Ja. All-star, we have LaMelo, Cade, Fox, Tyrese, Harden, Dame, Maxey, Jamal Murray, Trae Young. Starter, we got Malcolm Brogdon, Mike Conley, Darius Garland, Drew Holiday, CJ McCollum, TJ McConnell, IQ, Terry Rozier, D'Lo, Dennis Schroeder, Fred VanVleet, Kobe White. And then there's a lot of names over here where you could see for yourself, the backups, the bench, and the G League tier. But yeah, that's my list. I don't want to change anything really right now. I'm comfortable. I'm honestly pretty comfortable with my list. But I do think by the end of the year, a lot of these names could change, obviously, because this is just preseason or before the season even is starting. But yeah, I'm good with it for now. Yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said earlier, this is the ranking month, so be on the lookout. We're gonna be ranking a lot of things. I'm gonna do this for every position, and we're gonna go into the top 10s and then maybe top 50 players in the league and all the stuff like that. So stay tuned for that this month. Once again, if you do like the content, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.